And we're live. Oh my God, I was ready to be live.
Why are you yelling?
I don't know. Why am I yelling?
You're-
Because I'm so befuddled. Where am I? What am I doing? I'm live. Oh God. All right. It's another Sunday night. How does it happen so fast?
Oh no, that painting is hung way too high.
What's the matter with it? Oh yeah, it is hung too high.
You gotta move that.
You gotta move it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we just hung that up really quickly.
Yeah, I think maybe the camera's a little
Wonky?
Yeah.
Right, do you want me to move it?
Nah, it's good. It gives it that Batman sort of. I like that.
How do you want it?
No. Leave it.
Tell me which way
Leave
to
it. No, it's leave it.
Alright.
All right. So who do we got in here? Well, we got all of the regulars. Scroll back up here.
George Bunny.
Don and Wendy English were in here first. Rude Mopar Dude, Chris Greenaway, Olive, Michael Benolio, what's happening? Craig Chido, Michael Bertoni.
Made muscle.
Mitten Made Muscle, yes.
Steve Pastor.
The Kickendell is here. Is anyone getting flooded from Ida besides us? It's supposed to hit us as a tropical storm coming up the. We're supposed to get rained on like crazy starting tomorrow. Tuesday? Okay, yeah. Tuesday. Yeah. So we got to get our scuba gear together. We got to put one of them snorkels on the Jeep.
You said they don't work.
Well, it will look like we're ready for action. You know what I'm saying? Which is really half of it. You know what I mean?
We should put it on and go rescue dogs in Louisiana.
I would go rescue dogs.
I think that we should do that.
Are there dogs that actually need rescue? I mean, can we actually
go? I saw that they flew like 100 dogs out of Louisiana to make room for all the loose dogs that were going to have problems.
Oh, jeez. All right. Okay. Zach, Small Part Mashed Potatoes, Brian M, John Trudell, D. Scaglione. I was supposed to drop in on Andy's live. Unity Motorsports. He had Sam Oxier.
Oh.
And I got the kid, Austin, got his 360 Magnum. He spent the whole day today pulling everything out, right? He definitely earned his man card today, right? So, yeah, he's actually in the shop right now, offloading the motor. Doug Narden, what's happening? Tom Muse with a hug. No homo, right? What was that?
I said Buzz laugh out loud. That's funny.
Yeah. Trashmill in front of us says he flipped the piston and head gasket and made a 60-gallon compressor and gained 11 horsepower. That's not bad.
Stop telling people to do that.
When you could take a 2.5 horsepower motor and boost it to 11 just by flipping the piston and the head gasket. Woof, right? Woof. You only learn that stuff here. This guy going, he's a good kid. He is a good kid. He really is a good kid. He tries. He works hard. He's the real thing. Okay, he's the real thing. He doesn't have that grizzled. I've been ripped to shreds and put back together a few times. Look like some of us do, but he's young yet. Give him some time. Brian Tony Unfiltered was great last night. I'm always unfiltered,
T Jack R, thank you.
Thank you.
Take the high road, Tony. That is a bad look for those three.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. But you know what? Honestly, sometimes it's just fun to take the low road. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to take the high road in general, but I don't mind falling into the dips every now and then. It's Andy. I'm so sorry. I wanted to drop in on your live, but I got here and the kid Austin was trying to offload his motor, so we had to free up the hoist and do all kinds of other things. And just sat down a couple of minutes ago.
Rocky Meyer says Bizarre was the proper British gentleman during the rant. Yeah. Need Meadow says I enjoy the low road myself.
The low road can be a lot of fun. It's not like I got corporate sponsors that I got to keep happy or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh
no, John Wilburn says his power's out. He says I can watch the comments, but not enough signal to watch the stream.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
I
sorry.
would have figured you, Mr. Survival, you'd have like generators, backup generators, and like all sorts of things.
Oh man.
But wait a minute, you're nowhere near. You're in Virginia.
Yeah.
The storm is in Louisiana. Stop making excuses.
TJ Gar, thank you. He says, I understand, Tony, your engine build challenge is a great solution.
It would have been a great solution, except that they turned it into I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with their I don't want to challenge them to anything. I don't want nothing. I have nothing to do with them.
Unity says, I had a blast last night.
So did I. That was great. I think that we need to get together more often. You know, your channel, this channel, John's channel. I don't care whose channel it is. I always have a great time with you guys, and especially with David. So you know, it's like it's like royalty, right? It's like it's okay. So we're just a bunch of gearheads, right? We're wrenches, right? Then you got royalty. Then you got actually the guy who wrote the book that we all grew up reading. So it's like it's impressive. It's I'm impressed.
What's up, Mo Pandemic?
Mr. Will, the fuming Cuban. Tony, just for your information, I'm the viewer formerly known as Mr. Will. It's been a lot of things in the world that's been airing, so hence the names change. Okay.
Mr. Will, the fuming Cuban.
Are you really a fuming Cuban?
Oh, John Wilburn says he's doing just Wi-Fi's down, no flood zone there.
Okay, if we flood, the world is gone.
He's got me on Uncle Kathy. I can't. I can't.
Oh, let's see. Will has been canceled too. Okay.
What's up, Ski?
Ski, what's happening, man?
Does need to hold a seance and conjure up Roger Huntington?
Roger Huntington is everywhere all the time. It's funny. I was doing the magazines back in the 80s, right? So Roger Huntington. So this is in like 1985, 86, 87, 88, right, like that. I was doing all of those East Coast magazines for CSK Publishing, and Roger Huntington had a column in I think it was all of those magazines, and I don't remember. I don't know if he did it in Mopar. I know he did it in Muscle Car. He did it in Pontiac. He did it in Vet. So at the time, we had been running a picture. Each of us had a picture on our columns. Okay, so on his column there was a picture, but the picture was taken like in 1953. Okay, and by the time we were actually doing the magazines, what's that?
I remember.
You remember that picture?
Yeah.
So the picture was taken like
no, probably the 60s, early 60s.
Whatever it was like early on, right? And like people thought Roger Huntington was like this guy who was just like all about the action. He was in there on everything we did, but he used to write the stuff with his mouth. He had like a pencil, and he'd like peck away, right? Because he was like, by that point, he was old and crippled and just about gone. And in fact, I think he was already dead, and we kept running his columns. It was a day before the internet, you know what I mean? So like people would die, and like nobody would know about it for like months. So we just kept running his stuff.
Your Swamp Rat says, I want Kathy to sing happy birthday.
It's my brother.
Happy birthday, James.
It's normal James's birthday. Happy birthday, Normal James. That's my brother from up in New Jersey, the People's Republic of New Jersey. J-Ski, is Terry Cook still with us? I talked to Terry Cook about a year ago. So as far as I know, he's still with us. Olive and anybody else mentioning like these people, I don't even, I can't, go ahead, feel free to, make whatever comments you want, but I can't, I'm not going to respond to them. It's not that I'm ignoring you at all. I love you. But I'm not going to, I don't want to talk about any ass hats in the industry.
Please make UTG gas squirt bottles. I could use a few. We tried. We've been hunting.
We couldn't get anybody to silk screen them locally.
Oh, I could do it now.
Well, no. How are you going to silk screen the
bottles?
Yeah.
Actually, there was a machine for sale locally.
Was there?
Yeah. There was a lot of money. So we're not getting it.
Dean Stevenson, best wheelchair 1320 times by foot times by Roger Huntington. William Sanders says, happy birthday, James. Don't know enough to call you normal, but happy birthday. That was years ago, right? When like I was, I'd say in my 20s, and he's a few years younger than me. He's like 3 years younger than me. So my friends used to refer to him as normal James, because he was kind of normal. You know what I mean? He did normal things, and he had a normal life, and he did like normal jobs and stuff like that. So yeah, he was normal James.
He says buy the bottles and stick the decals on them.
Matt S., any updates on Bottle Rocket and Plan Z? Plan Z is going next Saturday to Sykes in Missouri, and then after that we go back to Bottle Rocket.
UT, did you kill that zebra you're sitting on?
Yes. Yeah, with a slingshot. It wasn't easy. It was a you know, right? I got him right between the eyes.
What is that noise?
Uncle Tony, what all experiences do you have working with Siamese ports? I asked because I have a Chevy 292. Oh, he's none. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, I've never dealt with that.
Sean Fagan says blank bottles with UTG written with a Sharpie signed by Uncle Tony.
That could work too.
Yeah, it could work.
Oh, Zero's in. What's happening, Zero?
Zero.
You know, Zero hasn't won anything in a while.
Yeah.
Right? What was the last thing Zero won?
I don't know. We sent them care packages. Zero, you get your T-shirts and everything, right?
I don't know. I'm looking around for something that Zero can win. Zero, how are you fixed for extension cords?
Oh no, we need those.
Oh, I got that one right there. Hang on, Zero.
Do you need extension cord, Zero?
You won, Bubba. There you go.
Okay.
Brandy new extension cord, still with the rubber band around it. Yeah, you won that. Congratulations. Okay, so send it off to Zero.
Okay.
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 Kyle Till says he thought Zero won something 3 weeks ago. Well, that was a long time ago, you know.
Oh my goodness.
Brian Power, whatever happened to the random UTG random trivia prizes?
We need to do that again.
Honestly, you know what happened? Seriously, we moved into this place, and like it became like more intense to do everything that we do. So we kind of like we forgot the fun.
Yeah,
right.
It's true.
So we're slowly working back to where we can get back to having fun. You know, it's not easy. This is not an easy gig. You know.
Yeah, we tell them about the drawing. We're gonna give those drawings away again too.
James wants to know what's up with this new bad 70s porn movie setting that you now broadcast from.
Oh, it's not. It's just an orange room.
It's an orange room, man. It's like, you know, honestly, I watch these other auto YouTubers, these other car YouTubers, and they're either sitting in an office, which we've done. You know, when we do it from the house, we do it from the office in the house, or they do it from a shop. You know what I mean? And it's always the same background. It's always the same setting, and it's kind of like, eh. So I wanted to have something that was like a little more like, you know what I mean? Like just a hangout room, you know, as opposed to, so here we are. I think it looks pretty good. Give him a Bluetooth extension cord. Yeah, we sent that to him already.
I bet Zero want a sculpture from the room at your house. You want a sculpture?
We could send him a sculpture. Did we? Did he want a sculpture?
I don't have any sculptures.
Zero, if we have a sculpture at the house, we'll send it to you. I don't think we have one though. Zero Data looks like the Elvis jungle room if he never got rich. You're right. I like the poverty-stricken Elvis.
Right. Keeping the couch clean. The couch is brand new.
It only gets used for this.
Right,
this is the only time.
It does need a lime green lamp. Right, orange and lime green go together.
Well, it needs a lava lamp, you know. I got that neon over there. There's like a lamp with colored things all over it over here. It's actually a pretty cool room. I like this room. It's like a good mood room.
Zero says I have one many things. One is an 18 millimeter. Not sure what it does.
But you're happy you have
I'm
it.
happy I have it. What's an 18 millimeter?
It's a wrench.
Oh.
T. Jack R. Tony, I appreciate your videos with the parts issues. We have been recycling German air-cooled parts for years because new parts rarely work. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be doing a lot more on that sort of thing. Yeah, it's like it's an epidemic. We'll talk about. I don't want to talk about it right now because I don't want to get into that kind of frame of mind yet. But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on that. This is something that applies to everybody across the board. We're all screwed. We're all evenly, universally screwed, and it's definitely not just the car thing. You know, there's people in the heating, you know, the HVAC business. There's people in every you know appliance people, every form of mechanical thing, you know, trade, right, is having exactly the same problems, and it seems like it's getting worse. So we're going to stay on top of that.
Harley Hook says that couch is comfy, neat room. It's really set up so that if anybody has to come and stay here, like they don't have to stay at our house, they can stay. This couch folds out.
Right, this is a futon.
It's brand new.
It folds out.
Like
so
it's nice. It doesn't smell. It has a throw on it. So if they're dirty and they're working, they sit on it and they don't mess it up. And I can throw that in the washing machine. So I mean, it's clean, guys. This isn't like it's supposed to be. Well, Andy's stayed in here.
Yeah, when Andy with the Hemi car comes, he stays in here. And Steve Magnanti's coming in. He's gonna spend a few days here, so he'll crash here. Matt S. Everything that is mechanical or electronic is in trouble. Yes, I know. Nicholas Agnew. Tony, can I pay you to say EFI is better than carbs? Sure, send me money. I mean, I'll whore myself off something like that. That's easy.
Yeah, Tony, you can do that?
Sure.
I don't think so.
No, absolutely. Well, so let's see how much he sends.
It begs for a lava lamp. Yeah, we will. I mean, I think the room would look nicer without the yellow in it. Tony picked that part.
What's that?
I would have made the room a little more upscale looking, but then you found this yellow furniture and you added that, so I'm not a fan of the yellow.
Yeah, so
it makes it look a little cheesy.
You can't see this, but we've got
yellow chairs.
Yellow chairs.
I mean, it's good for an office type of conference thing, which is fine. But the way I had started decorating it, because he insisted on orange.
Yeah.
Like I had really nice layout and furniture, like kind of picked for it, so it would look like actually pretty. But no, 25 yellow furniture.
Yeah, you're sitting right now. This computer is sitting on a big table. This is what. This has got to be like 4 foot diameter,
yeah,
almost 5 foot diameter, 48 feet diameter. Yellow table. It's chrome legs.
The yellow wasn't something I would have picked.
Yeah, this is totally 70s retro. Everything in it. And then there's a neon over here that our friend Gideon Wallace dropped off when he came. He popped in to visit and he brought us this beautiful Mopar neon. So yeah, I love this. I love this room.
Yeah, we got to work on it. Mid-century modern, sort of. Yeah, sort of. I would have gotten a different table. Nicholas Agnew, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Steve Pistol, 1870 Mopar, high impact inspired. You know, I'm not gonna say yes, and I'm not, but yeah, I like loud, obnoxious. I'm an Italian, okay, so I'm automatic, and you know, the whole ADD thing. So I'm attracted to shiny objects. I like gaudy things. You know what I mean? It's
At
like
first you wanted plum crazy.
No, I never wanted plum crazy.
Did you want plum crazy?
No.
You wanted sparkles on the wall.
I
wanted it to be metallic.
I want the walls
and
to
I
be
was
metallic.
Like, we could do it, but it's a pain in the butt, and it's hard to get off and paint over. So we didn't do that.
Eric Wilkinson, howdy, Uncle Tony. We all love you up here in Maine. Thank you, man. I love you guys too.
Christopher Investor says you're Italian. I never would have guessed.
Yeah, right. I know. I come off as Irish. I know, but yeah, believe it or not, Italian. So yeah, and that's it. Like we're known for gaudy. It's what we do. You know, it's like it's in my DNA to be gaudy. So
James will know when I say this. Remember, we went to Jeanette's next door. Remember Jeanette in New York?
sure,
And we went to her house for something. And I looked up, and what was the ceiling?
sparkle sealer.
It was a sparkle
Yeah.
ceiling, and she was super Italian. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen a sparkle ceiling.
Paint the walls Panther pink. I love Panther pink.
Yeah. Max Wedge Dick Dastardly Resnick. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the what was I gonna say?
What?
If I had a 19, I don't have any 1970 anything in my fleet. I have like all different years, but I'm missing a 70, right? But if I had a 1970 A or B body in my fleet, it would definitely be Panther pink.
The orange wall would be a good idea for the street freak. What color are you gonna paint that?
What's that? All different
Sledgehammer.
colors. Slag hammer is going to be
Multiples.
like just. It's going to look like a bunch of custom painters
I know,
just
it's gonna look
had a
like that.
fight.
I like it when it's like one color with multiple tones. That looks the best.
We'll see how it goes.
All right.
Zero doubt. If Tony was a real Italian, he would have plastic covers on the couch.
This is true.
No, that was the old school. No, that was the old school. That was the Depression era Italians because they had to preserve everything, right? So, yeah, no, I'm post Depression era. Jackie Ferrazzo, what's the best '67 Charger color? Please help. Those cars look beautiful in like a gold. They had like it was like a gold / champagne color.
Not mauve.
Not mauve. No, they actually have the mauve, right? I had never even heard of the color mauve until I found it on a '67 Charger.
It's pretty gross.
Yes, it's disgusting, right? But those cars, I think it was like it's called a champagne gold or something like that. It's like a light kind of gold, and I think those cars look outstanding in that color. They're kind of weird cars. You know what I'm saying? Like they look good from certain angles, certain colors they look really good, certain colors they look really bad. So I don't know, man. But you like the '67 Charger in black? They do look good in black. James wants to know where's the black velvet oil painting of the Last Supper.
You need that, right? You need that.
Mr. Will, thank you, man, for the lava lamp.
Thank you. Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
No.
No, me neither.
No. Well, wait a minute. I shouldn't say that. I've had.
Don't say you like that.
No. I had a Hawaiian pizza. Where was it? Who made a Hawaiian pie? So I tried it. It wasn't bad. And it was ham and pineapple. And I actually thought it was pretty good. But as a rule, no.
How much for the chicken walker sign?
No, it's not for
It's
sale.
not for sale.
One of our viewers made that for us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they sent us the design and I had it printed out.
Dago's playing cards or billiards. That's billiards.
You know what we could do? We should do like a limited T-shirt of Chicken Walker Ranch.
We could.
We could do that. Spumoni Gardens Pizza Rocks. L&B pie.
Eureka agrees. Pineapple with ham is the only real way to eat that topping. Yeah.
Ugh, it's gross. L&B pie is delicious. Spumoni Gardens. Where's the shop cat? We don't have any. There is a shop armadillo that's dead outside the driveway.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, our shop armadillo is officially dead. Jeff Smith, you said something wrong. Did Jeff Smith say something wrong?
I have no idea.
What did you say, Jeff?
I don't know. Maybe the pizza?
Everything is for. Or shouldn't you be having birthday cake or something, man?
Yeah, go have your birthday cake, James. Are you reading?
No, I thought you were
You're
reading.
not reading? Oh,
I'm
okay.
rolling a cigarette.
I was looking for what Jeff Smith said.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't see anything. I'm not singing, James. No.
Ethan Millie, you two, have you had the ultimate cheese lovers pizza from Pizza Hut? No, and I probably won't because Pizza Hut uses a part skimmed cheese that I'm really a mozzarella. I don't know what other cheese they put on there, but I mean Pizza Hut. The only really good fast food pizza that the cheese I like is Little Caesars. Is they use it's a full so it's a whole milk mozzarella, and they throw Munster in there too, and it's just like a perfect mix. You know what I mean? But Pizza Hut, I'm not crazy about the cheese.
Gary G says, any news on Steve M. Junkyard episode?
Say that again now.
Any news on Steve M. Junkyard episode?
Okay, Steve is coming. Steve will be here. We did a live. We did a live. We did a show with Steve this morning for somebody else for Dallas's channel, for the AHRA Drag Racing History channel, which is up now. So you guys can check that. I hope you're subscribed to the AHRA History channel, right? So Steve and I did a show this morning on that channel, and he'll be here. Middle of September, sometime in the middle of September. I don't have the dates yet, but he'll be here for a few days, and we'll do some stuff together. But I don't know what it's going to be exactly yet. But yeah, we're going to be working very closely with Steve going forward.
Need metal, thank you. He says, I told my doctor I was watching a guy put 4 turbos on a West-Tech mule. He recommended the back pages.
That went right over my head.
He recommended the back pages.
Fubar just put the link to the AHRA Drag Racing History channel. Yeah, so we did part 2 of the evolution of the funny car, and we'll have part 3 up probably in a few days, probably Wednesday or Thursday. We'll do part 3. Robbie Zip, I like that name, man. Robbie Zip. Hey Tony, I've been watching your videos from the start. I'm in New Jersey. You know we have the best pizza.
I can put up a meme once about New York versus New Jersey pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it got out of control.
I know. There's the whole pizza war between New York and New Jersey.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like there were like 2,000 comments on it.
I mean, I'm partial. I got a friend down here named Sammy who's got a pizzeria. If you're familiar with, if you're ever in Murfreesboro, there's Sammy's Brick Oven Pizza. He's on Broad Street, and if you're over here, right, go there. Tell him I sent you. Tell him I give you my pie. Right, he makes a pie. You'll see. And if you like white pies, right? So I'm gonna say his is the best.
Sean says Jersey has the best pizza in the world. I don't know about that, Sean. New York pizza is the best, Scott says.
See, I can't really enjoy.
It's gonna get ugly in a minute. It's gonna start to get ugly.
Here's the thing about New York versus New Jersey pizza, right? I can't judge because both New York and New Jersey pizza are both tainted by angst. So there's just something about them that, do you know what I'm saying?
Tainted by what?
Angst.
Angst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your brother is saying, I'm from New Jersey and no, we don't have the best pizza.
Yeah, you know, they're like the featured topping is rage, you know, in your northeastern, you know, pizzas, right?
I thought it was property tax.
And property tax, right? You know, I like sausage, extra cheese, property tax, and rage. And can you put the thing in the middle so that the box doesn't collapse onto the rage?
Don't forget about the no left turns.
What's that?
No left turns.
No left turns. Oh yeah, the state where you can't. The People's Republic of New Jersey. Please, I can't. Please. I mean, I escaped that hellhole 20 years ago, and I just don't want to think about it. Right?
Let's see. Mike Smith wants to know, Tony, what's your thoughts on resurfacing tips of adjustable rockers?
Wait, Tommy, let me just hit this Tommy's question first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oil control question: the rear frost plug behind the cam. Does depth affect oil pressure since it's part of the oil supply line? No, it doesn't. No matter how far in or out that thing is, the journal is still going to cover the oil hole. Okay, what was the question, Kat?
What's your thoughts on resurfacing tips of adjustable rockers?
I've never done it. I mean, I don't see any reason why it couldn't be done, but it's just not something I've ever done. When I see them, that really on the Hemis is the only engines that I worked with, and I always use lash caps, so they don't really wear. If you see them without lash caps, you'll always see gouge lines in the tip. But I've always used lash caps on those, and they wear evenly. So I've never had a personal experience where I had to redo that.
Your brother says that was actually funny. We made him laugh.
April A. I got my driver's license last week. Congratulations, April.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm not good and I'm not smart. I can't even parallel park. Who of us can? Okay? Just get out there and drive. Just steer and try to miss as many things as you can. Good luck. And you're gonna wreck stuff. You just got your license. Before the end of this year, you're gonna have a really stupid accident in a parking lot. Trust me on this, right? And just take it with a grain of salt. Just say, "Oh, I had my accident," and then it'll be over with. Just like people ride a motorcycle. I always talk. You within the first month of riding that bike, you're gonna go down. So just say, "Oh, I got it. I did it. I went down. It's over. I lived, and now you move on." But really, April, congratulations.
What GTX says, "Hey, Tony, Kathy, cheers from Argentina."
It's happening. Way down south. Ray Prinsky says, April A, practice circles in the parking lot and then learn to drift. Olive says she's from Boston. I can parallel park in a freight container.
Yeah. Didn't you used to be Tony DeFeo? You keep saying you're a humble street racer.
That's
too humble. Didn't you used to be Tony DeFeo?
That's a rumor. That's a rumor, and I'm not going to, either confirm or deny my former existence as Tony DeFeo.
You're still Tony
DeFeo. Anti-hero. I got a felony for evading arrest on my bike before I ever wrecked it. Excellent. I don't even want to get into stories like that, man.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. France Garage says, "Hey Tony, what is the point of a dual point distributor? I've never used one, but just installed one in my wife's uncle's '63 Studebaker Hawk. Runs sweet, but just wondered what benefit it would have."
Coil saturation. I'll tell you what. I should do a video on dual points because people keep asking me about dual points.
Yeah, do it.
There are a couple of different uses for dual points, which is one of the things that I want to go into. I'm going to do a whole video on dual point distributors coming this week. I've been stuck for video ideas lately, and you just hear it. I got one for tomorrow, Tuesday. Tuesday, I'm going to do a video on dual point distributors. Tuesday.
Are you going to remember?
Yes.
Do you want to write it on the whiteboard?
I already see this distributor in my mind. It's sitting on the bench in there.
Okay.
Well, then we're going to use to illustrate. Mopardeng, Tony, do you plan? What's happening, bro? I didn't even see you there. Tony, do you plan on putting a lift in your shop? No. My viewers do not have lifts, and therefore I will not have a lift.
Double the dwell time, Dallas says. The age or age history channel.
Well, no, actually, the dwell. No, we'll do a whole thing. The whole thing.
Joking.
Oh, okay. Chris Freemasoner says the actual Tony DeFeo was killed in a parallel parking accident. He was actually shot and killed in a bar in Queens. Yeah. Tom Muse, can I crash her if I come down? Try to time it around the completion of Junkyard Jet. Sure. I mean, why not?
The artist formerly known as Tony D. Danny Boy wants to know, have you ever gone to Smith Auto Parts in Laverne?
I have not.
Weren't we just talking about that?
Smith Auto Parts? I've never heard
Mom
of
and
it.
Pop Auto Parts stores.
Yeah, you asked me about Mom and Pop Auto Parts stores.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should go there.
We could.
Let's see. How do you feel about the V10 Viper motor?
How do I feel about it? You mean like my innermost feelings or just an opinion on it?
Probably just an opinion.
Just an opinion?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about the way they sound. I mean, it's just one of those things. They say it sounds like there's something wrong with it. They've never been adopted by, I mean, it's an essentially sound design and it's a good truck engine. And obviously the Vipers run like hell, but it's never been adopted by hot rodders. And I don't really know why. And I've never been interested in it enough to really look into it. It just seems like it's an answer to a question nobody ever asked. It's not really a happy, you know, the engine works better as a V8 than it does as a V10.
Dallas is saying let's go to Smith Auto Parts soon.
Okay.
Tom Hughes says he's bringing a USMC flag and a DAB flag. Sounds good. You still have to hang up that other flag.
I know.
Because we don't have any nails.
Get nails.
It's like we keep trying to do stuff. We keep looking for nails, but the weeks keep going by and we never bring any. Let's see.
I got to answer this. Eureka 7 Wave.
Yeah.
Here's a firestorm question. Tony, are you a libertarian? How do you lean towards that?
Oh.
I was a libertarian. When was that?
When were we libertarian?
When was the libertarian thing? That was around the Ron Paul era?
Yes.
When we went out.
We were campaigning for Ron Paul.
Yeah.
We
actually,
for Ron Paul.
we campaigned for Ron Paul. This was back in I'm going to say it was 2000.
You ready for president?
It's Austin. Come here real quick and say hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to be quiet.
That's all right. Look, it's Austin. Hey, no. This is too weird, bro.
Okay.
You see the color of this room? You see the zebra couch? No, you can't sit next to me. Just stand and just look at. No, you're freaking me out, bro. This is just say hi, right?
Howdy.
He earned his man card today, man. I'm telling you, he was out there in the hot, laying in the scats with all stuff falling on his face, pulling that motor out of the truck. He just dropped the thing off over here. We'll do a video. When are we gonna do a video on the actual engine?
We'll be back Sunday.
So okay, we'll be back next Sunday, and we're gonna get all three of you guys.
See him? He's not on camera.
Well, you could come over here on the camera, but don't sit next to me on the couch.
I'll
because
just.
that's really gay.
Okay. It's
And
a
that's
small
not that I
spring.
have anything against any of that. So any of you guys, you got that alternative LGBTQ thing, whatever going on. I love you for that. That's awesome, but it's not my cup of tea.
It's a small frame, you know. I mean,
Right. Yeah. So you're going to be here next Sunday to work on the motor.
Yeah.
When are we going to have all three of you guys together so we can do a live? Because I know a bunch of people want to ask you questions and stuff like that.
I can talk to them and see what their schedule's going to be like. Maybe later on in the week, like Wednesday, Friday, somewhere around there.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. So, all right, let me get back to this.
Okay.
All right, don't touch me.
I'm not going to. Don't.
All right.
Kiss
I'll
us
see you
out,
guys.
I'll see
chicka
you later.
wow.
Okay. Oof. People accuse me of being homophobic. I'm actually homoparanoid. But now, and Kathy's my witness. Some of my best friends over the years have been gay, right? I mean, like gay over the top gay. I had one friend who used to wear a dress. I'm like, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But just don't touch me. Don't touch me.
John Escobar says, hey, it's an Italian thing.
So back to the libertarian thing. Yes, I was actually a very active libertarian locally. What's so funny? Or in the Ron Paul era, which was about 2004, 2005, something like that. I don't remember the year, but we campaigned for it. We went all out. I had a coffee house. We turned it into a campaign headquarters for the Ron Paul thing. And then I realized.
So now everybody knows our politics.
And then I realized that the whole election thing was a complete scam, and I completely backed away from it and declared myself to be an anarchist. So my official political stance is that I'm an anarchist, and that's it. It's that simple.
Ray says I was libertarian until I looked it up in the dictionary. Well, don't do that. Am I
You don't know who
smoke
wrote-
free? Yes, I'm smoke free. 3
Who-
months.
Who wrote the definition in the dictionary? You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Everything is bullshit. Everything. So you can't even go by that. Joe K, if you didn't have the zebra blanket on the couch, could Austin sit next to you? No guy can sit next to me on a small couch like this. Totally out of guy code.
Yogurt wants a thumbs up, Uncle Tony. Give him a thumbs up.
Oh,
Did you do it?
what's that?
Did you do it?
Yeah, give him a thumbs up. NCAP or anarcho communist? No. I'm a cap. I'm a devout capitalist. I mean, when I tell you I'm a devout capitalist, I mean literally. Like that's it's more of a religion than anything else. No, I absolutely believe in capitalism. So yeah, no. I'm an anarchist, meaning that I don't like any government, I don't trust any government, I don't want any government.
Okay, can we not talk about politics anymore?
We're not talking about politics.
Yeah.
That's not politics.
That's enough. We're good. Joel Woody. Thank you. Oh.
What's this now? Oh, Joel Woody. How about you and Steve Dulcich do an exhibition boxing match? Proceeds to do a charity with his claim to lay anyone out. If he
Did
wants,
you see that, Joel? Yeah.
if he wants to fight me, I mean, I'll fight. I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to bleed on me because that's about all he's going to,
Yeah, we saw that. I saw that. Oh my God, the couch is clean. Would you stop?
Olive says that she's a capitalist. It's just not capitalism if we don't have capital. I have capital. I understand what actual money is as opposed to currency.
Okay.
Well, no, this is a conversation.
Talk about cars. Talk about cars.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Tony, what if Buff was beside you, your secret boyfriend?
He sits in a separate chair, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Well, pardon, it's some capital for the shop. Thank you.
Pardon.
We sound money for cars. Yes.
What are your thoughts on the El Camino?
What?
What are your thoughts on the El Camino?
I like Tony asked her to
He
leave.
wants me to leave? Why?
Because you're like the censor.
How am I a censor?
Don't talk about that. Don't go there.
Politics?
Don't talk about we're not talking about politics.
All right, go ahead.
We're talking about things that apply across the board to all of us, and it has
Right,
nothing to do with a party affiliation.
All right, go ahead. Talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Dean Stevenson, this is not a love song. Oh, you're a Johnny Rotten guy. Okay, all right. It took me a second for that to. Tony, what is the guy code for talking at the urinals? Guy code for talking at urinals is always keep your hands on the wall. Okay? Does that make any sense? And never look. You always keep. So if you're talking to somebody and you're at the urinal, okay? You always keep your hands up on the wall like this, like you're being arrested. That's where you keep your hands, and you only look within the zone of your hands. and then you can have any conversation you want. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I'll go inside. You guys can talk. Have fun.
Jesus. No eye contact. No, no. Uh, yes, no eye contact. When I keep my hands on my thing falls in the water. Uh, leave one urinal space if you can. Otherwise, you're shopping. Yeah, please. I know. Mr. Swinger one, I usually don't say a word in the public restrooms. It freaks other people out. But you're not supposed to talk to yourself. But sometimes let's say you're with a bud, you know what I mean, and you hit the urinal at the same time. You're having a conversation. You're not going to stop talking, right? So but oh, okay. Chris Greenaway, why do you think second gen 7481 Firebirds and formulas are underappreciated? They were really heavy. I don't know. They're kind of bland, compared to the earlier ones. Eddie Garcia, hey Tony, the 383 on my 69 Roadrunner feels lazy out the hole. Anything on the cheap I could do? Have you curved the distributor or locked out the distributor? 383s are very sensitive to timing, to initial timing. This thing slowed way down. There we go. Yeah, the 70 formula was beautiful, right? All of those cars, the split bumper Camaro is still, like, in my mind, one of the most beautiful cars ever. And even the Vega, the 70, the split bumper Vega too, is beautiful. Hexter, what's up, Tony? Yonkers, what's happening, man? Buddy Carafano, should you pre-fill the oil filter when doing an oil change? Yeah. It's always best to do it because the pump has to fill the filter before it can send anything. So yeah, it's always a good idea to pre-fill the filter. It's crucial to do it on a first start for an engine. After that, it becomes less crucial. But for you putting a fresh engine together, where none of the passages have ever been filled with oil, then yeah, you have to fill the oil filter. XY Dick Dastardly, why do Mopars throw number 6 rod almost always? Because that's where the closest rod to the journal that feeds the rockers is number 6. So the rockers take some of the volume of oil that would normally be, so it typically, right? If you let's say you kick a lifter out of the bore, you break a rocker, you run a push rod, the lifter jumps out of the bore, it'll kill number 6. Tyler Elliott, when are you going to build a wagon? Send me a wagon. Uncle Tony, what do you use to tighten down strut arms on Mopar front suspensions? Just got a new set from Mancini Racing and don't want to beat them up. Any suggestions? On those, I use an impact gun on the 3/4 nut that's at the back of the control arm and lock that down. And then you really don't have to worry about holding it. That nut back there will hold it in place. Minimum trailer size needed to roll a 1968 Dart, 16 foot. Adrenaline channel. Do you think the modern Hemi's geometry is the reason they fail? I did 2 videos on that, on the modern Hemis and the issues with the cam and the lifters and all of that. I did 2 videos, and you can go back and you can watch those. It's just too complicated to get into here now in this particular situation. But it's not geometry. It's actually the way they place the cam and the angles that the lifters are at. Mike Ivan, did advancing the cam improve Plan Z? I haven't tried it. It's just sitting inside right now. Rocco Bastone, how much did the records charge for the 360 Magnum? I just talked to him about that. When he ended up paying like $300 for the thing. The motor is like 180. But what happened was he brought it to the front and he hadn't stripped off the stuff around it. So they charged him for the wiring harness, they charged him for the power steering pump, they charged him for all of these things, and it came to like $300. So he spent more on it than he should have. It should have been, if he had taken all of that stuff off because he didn't know any better, if he had taken all that stuff off, it would have been $180. Joe K, last night's video with David Vizard and your EV video brings me to the thought, has the internal combustion engine reached its practical peak, or is there much more untapped potential? I don't think it's reached. I don't think it's reached a peak at all. I think it's reached a state of steady evolution. It really has for a long time now. No, I don't think it's reached the peak. But I also don't think it's done yet. Delivery Guy RX, do the JJ guys have a video of them taking that engine out? Austin was by himself today. The other guys, one of them is the quiet guy. John is sick, and Garrett is at a family function in Kentucky this weekend. So Garrett was out there literally by himself. So no, there's no video of it. UT, ever do Power Tour? No, I don't have any cars that'll run that long. Olive, actually, UT, assuming I'm more careful than you, everybody is more careful than me. What's sufficient eye protection for something like Fluxy? Any welding mask is going to be fine. Garrett is awesome if he got that done alone. He did get it done alone. And I told him, I'm proud of him. I'm really proud of him because that's the first time he's ever done anything like that. And it's a miserable working situation. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, that kid earned his man card today. There's no question about it. David Vizard's performance. Tony looked at my head pointing video yet? No, I have not. I will, though. I will. Zach, why aren't guys building more 400s? Because there are fewer 400s around every day. I mean, it's just like you talk about an engine that hasn't been produced since 1978. 1978 was the last year for it, So it's like, I mean, this stuff is really becoming very archaic and moving much further into the rearview mirror every day. So that's why you don't see more of them. I mean, the people who would be building 400s are building Hemis or LSs or Coyotes, or you know what I mean. It's like this stuff is moving into the rearview mirror pretty quickly. Jean Wilburn, we actually notice and recognize that David Vizard is here. Yes, we do. Isn't that Austin and not Garrett? Yeah, Austin was the kid who was just here, and he pulled the motor. Garrett is got a family function out of state today. John Mounts, I'm in the planning stages of a 451, 400, 230 cast block. I mean, we're not the only one. I mean, you're not the, there are people still doing it, but there's just fewer and fewer all the time. Odd question. Nick V, odd question. Do you think you would rather have an ASC certified mechanic or have a welding certificate if you were looking for a credential welding certificate? Yeah, absolutely nobody cares if you're ASC certified or not. Nobody ever did, nobody ever will. It doesn't really mean very much. Welding certificate, completely different story. That'll get you into any industry you want to go into. You know, where the ASC thing is just, you know, unless you're going to go work for a dealership, nobody really cares. Tell me, something tells me Tony has some remaining fear of jails. I'm not fond of the places. Um, okay, wait. Was it Stephen Wang? I'm thinking of swapping an engine from a 90s Ferrari. Oh, okay. All right. You've got the Supra. Are you thinking of swapping an engine from a 90s Ferrari? It's about as much as a 2J common swap because it'd be unique compared to other builds and everything else. Oh man, do you want to pay the Ferrari tax? I mean, honestly, is it that important to be so unique when the 2J is just such an awesome engine? It's a perfect platform to build off of. I mean, I'm not dissing Ferraris, but is it worth it to you? Is paying the Ferrari tax worth that being unique? Is anybody going to really care? David Vizard, Tony, I wonder how many guys know about my Chrysler engine building adventures. Few people know that I had about 4 years doing almost nothing but Chryslers. My highest revenue was 11,000 plus. David? What was that? What was that 11,000 RPM engine based on? Uh, John Bossum, Tony, any particular reason why you chose black and white for UTG colors? We didn't have any colored pencils when we were at that point. So yeah, that's all we had was just a regular black pencil. Peter Kovacs, Tony in a crowded elevator. I don't get into crowded elevators. Old Jeff Fire, is there a story behind you being named Uncle Tony? No, not really. It just, I don't know. It was just, we were just bouncing around names and Uncle Tony fit. So, you know, that's what we went with. Wow, we got crazy thunder happening out there now. It's like we got a storm moving in. Uh, okay, DeScaglione, UT, Cherokee. Nephew looking to buy a 95 Cherokee or 318, 7-inch lift with 200,000 miles, but runs and drives, but has electrical starting problems. Any thoughts? I mean, the electrical systems on them, I mean, they're not overly complicated. I don't know, man. Is it a really good deal? And it's a Grand Cherokee if it's got a 318. I mean, I would go for it if the price is right. I would go for it. David, the 4-cylinder Dodge like the one that Sox and Martin used to run, but mine was a road racer. Okay, 11 grand, 11,000 RPM. Stuff happens really fast at 11,000 RPM, right? Dakota's timeout. Tony, how do you adjust the back brake drums? Back up 3 times and stop at the parking brake with a brake pedal. In theory, every time that you step on the brake in reverse, if there's play, so the way that self-adjuster works is that if there's play, if the shoes are worn, there's play, right? When you step on a brake. So when you step on it in reverse, okay, the play all goes into one direction and it lifts up on that paw. And that turns the star wheel like one tooth, or however much it'll take. And when the play is gone, that paw doesn't come up to adjust anymore. But it really only works in theory. If you step on the brake 3 times in reverse, it's not going to do anything because the shoes only settle in the one direction. It has to be you go forward first and step on the brakes, then go backwards and step on the brakes, and then the paw will come up and take up the slack. Louisiana is getting hammered right now. We're getting hammered by something out there now. T. Jake R. An engine that turns 11,000 RPM. Wonder what kind of gear ratios transmission it would use. Well, it's a road race car, So I don't know, David. What kind of transmission? What kind of gears did you use in that thing? Archer Fiedler, Tony, can you do a video about why putting wheels on that don't fit under the quarters and jacking up the back with ladder bars and air shocks was stupid in 1980, and every real car guy knew it? Well, I don't know. How do you make a video out of that? David Rizzo says he had to use a stock tranny in that. Gabriel F. What do I tell a friend who wants to buy an Aston Martin he can't afford? What do you tell somebody like that? I don't know. Okay, good. John is timing out Dakota. Excellent. Hollywood, do you have any experience with Schneider racing cams? I don't. Ben Trees, could you ever get a 426 Hemi powered Chrysler 300? No, there were no factory Chrysler 300s with the Hemi. There was no factory C bodies with a Hemi. There was 1 or 2 built. Hearst built a Chrysler 300H with a 426 Hemi. One of them. but it was done. It was done not on the assembly line or anything. It was a one-off piece. There were never any mounts, any C-body mounts, or way to mount a 426 Hemi with its unique mounts to a C-body chassis, unibody, front end, K-frame, whatever you want to call it. Ira is coming your way, UTG. Now, yeah, I know. Well, there's something happening out there right now. Drum mounts, UT, do you typically call a cam grinder for a custom grind or go with off the shelf parts? Typically off the shelf, because I mean they've already figured out. You know what I mean? Like there's no common engine that you're going to come across or a common use that you're going to come across that every cam grinder hasn't explored every conceivable possibility of, and they offer them in a catalog. So it's really, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like an elitist thing. You know what I mean? I'm going to spec my own cam. You know, no, I'm not going to try to outthink the cam grinders. When I'm trying to do something that's different, that's out of the box, then of course, yeah, I'll sit down or I'll consult, excuse me, with a cam grinder, tell them what I'm looking to get out of it, and we'll go back and forth, and you go then, and thus a custom grind is born. But for the most part, no. All you need to really know is what you're trying to do, you know what I mean? And know what camshafts, what characteristics of a camshaft will give you, and the limitations of your engine. As you know those things, you can pick your own cam right out of catalog. Um, so no, I only spec a cam if it's a very specific oddball application, and I can't find a regular grind that's going to go. Parker Russell, what thing do you do regularly that you like the least? Want hand doing it? Cleaning parts, man. Cleaning parts. Um, 318 will run. How's it going, brother, man? Great channel. 318 will run is a good guy. There's a good channel. Oregon cam grinders are great people with outstanding reputation, knowledgeable, and custom grind. David Rizard, Tony, don't give the cam grinders too much credit for knowing what they are doing. I call in a week and explain. Yeah, no, I realize that, David, but unless, like I said, unless it's something that's very specific. You know what I mean? They've already got a grind that's it's gonna be there. It's gonna be close, and then just mess around with timing. Because I would now again see where you're coming from, David. You're a scientist. You come from the higher levels, and for you, that you know, very specific, right? But generally speaking, if let's say you're building a 318 to tow with, right? There's really no need to get involved with a custom deal. Um, there's plenty of RV style cams out there on the shelf that are going to do the job exactly what they're doing. Now, when you're talking about trying to find 3 horsepower at 11,000 RPM, well, no, that's a whole different ball game. And yeah, no, then you don't trust anybody except yourself. Mr. Will, hey Tony, what would you call the most go-to hot rod Mopar back in the day? Most people could not afford a Hemi. 383s were everywhere. Everything had a 383. 383s were everywhere. Max Switch Dick Dastardly, I have a factory grind cam. It runs 1150s. Which cam? Freedom Parts. Tony, what happened to the Honda 350? I got rid of them. I decided I wanted to do the Miata instead. No, I only had room in my universe for so many projects. So I looked at the Miata and I looked at bikes and I says, I'd rather have the Miata. And so the bikes went. The formula. Hey, Uncle Tony, my girlfriend had ordered a shirt a few weeks ago. It hasn't come in. Had you all ship shirts out recently? Send a message to Uncle Crystal at UncleTony'sGarage@gmail.com and just put in the subject line missing shirt. So yeah, I'm totally like out of that realm. So UncleTony'sGarage@gmail.com, missing shirt, and we'll get you hooked up. Mike Smith, how do you think the 340 compares to the 383 performance-wise? The 340, the small block Mopar is far superior to the wedge, inch for inch. So if you have two engines that are similar because of the architecture, because of the combustion chamber, because of the exhaust port, the small block Mopar is, so it's two engines of similar cubic inches. The small block Mopar is far superior to the big block Mopar. The big block Mopar is literally a scaled up small block Chevy. You take a 440 head, take a 350 Chevy head, and pre-vortex, put them next to each other, and unless you knew the difference, you couldn't tell the difference. The architecture is almost identical. The LA head. Well, let David Rizard knows these heads really good. He could jump in there and give you the exact advantages of the LA. Crim, no. If you build an off-idle bottom-end, low-end torque engine, how low are you actually supposed to lug the engine to not kill the bearings on the bottom end RPM-wise? Oh God! I mean, if you're spinning, the motor, if it's healthy and has normal clearances, and you drop it down to, let's say, 400 RPM, even less, probably 350 RPM or so, it'll still move oil. It'll still put oil there. The main reason you need oil pressure, okay, why pressure has to rise with RPM, is because of the weight of the rod, the centrifugal force of the rod. So the motor is rotating, and the rod weighs what it weighs, right? But now you spin it faster, the centrifugal force is pushing the rod further out, right? So that force that is pushing out, well, that's why you need pressure between the journal and the bearing to rise with that centrifugal force. And that's why there's a correlation between engine RPM and oil pressure. But there's hardly any centrifugal force at a lower RPM like that. So it doesn't take anything but like just a coating of oil to keep everything happy. UTG, what rags do you prefer? Red shop rags, blue shop towels, paper towels, old t-shirts? The blue shop, I go through a lot of blue shop rags. I mean, it just depends on what you're doing. I keep a lot of old t-shirts and stuff like that around. Dish towels are great, right? It just depends what you're trying to clean up. But for the for the quick messes, you're working on a car and you drop some oil or whatever it is. Gasoline and a blue shop towel is the quickie go-to. Brian Power, rod forces are exponential too. They don't rise evenly with the rate of speed. I think the rules used to be to double the RPM, and it's something like 9 times the force. Yeah, I would say that's all right. David Rizard will tell you that. Antonio, when is Bottle Rocket going to run in the quarter? When we have the occasion to haul it out to a quarter-mile track. Everything we have around here locally is 1/8 mile. It's the closest quarter-mile strip to us right here is Bowling Green, and on our regular test in 2 nights they only run the 1/8 mile, so it doesn't even we would have to actually travel to get to a quarter-mile track. We have a hard time getting away just for a couple of hours to run to one of the local ones. Hey, Gideon, what's happening, brother, man? You didn't miss anything. Delivery guy, I prefer brake clean, carb clean, or burns man. Brake clean is just goes so fast. David Vizard Performance. If things don't change soon in the cam business, I'm going to do a video of the decade entitled "The Great Cam Scam." You know, David, it's not the grinds that are the problem. The grinds, I mean, they are what they are, right? But it's the quality of the materials, the lifters. It's like there's a plague of bad materials going on. So I mean, that's where the problem is. The grinds are one thing, you know. If you're a scientist and you're looking for the last thousandth of a horsepower, yeah, I see where you're coming from, but that's so secondary to the problems that people are having wiping out motors with brand new parts. That's a problem. Hey, UT, any chance of building a car for a standing mile? Probably not. It doesn't happen often enough or close enough to us to get involved with something like that. Mike Fortudo. Uncle Tony, have you ever gotten into demolition derby? I feel bad for the cars. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Squirt McGurk, thank you. Happy Sunday night. Thank you. Eureka 7 Wave, what do you think about regular car reviews review of the Mopars? Regular car reviews is without a doubt my favorite YouTube channel. I love everything they do. I've yet to see anything they've done that I didn't like or didn't agree with, or you know what I mean. It's like RCR is awesome. Uh, Mike and Willow Connolly, what early mid 90s car would you enjoy building? I have three XJs, three Cherokee XJs, and two are 94s and one is a 98, and that's my current like infatuation. So if I had to pick anything from that era, it would be an XJ. Period. TH man, did the kids get the motor from Junkyard Jack? Yes. Austin was just here. They just literally just dropped. He just dropped off the motor while we were live here. Studebaker Larry, Tony, what's your opinion on Rotella oil for vintage engines? I use it in all my. Rotella is my go-to oil. Uh-oh, this thing's like freezing here. Can't wait to see the teardown on it. Yeah, you guys, you gotta excuse me. There's like this thing is like it's like freezing up here. 672E Galaxy, what's happening, brother man? Larry Gomez, thank you. Have you ever seen a 318 polyhead make over 450 horsepower? Normally asked for me. My buddy built one and only got about 370 horsepower with 30 over kit. 370 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at out of a polyhead, bro. But yeah, there's a guy named Roger Toth who builds, he specializes in polys. And I'm not sure exactly how much power he's getting out of them, but it's significant. Chris Greenaway, Tony, what games will be removing 40 pounds of undercoating from the car performance-wise? Well, it's 40 pounds from the bottom of the car, which in drag racing is the last place you want to have the weight. On a slow drag car, the bottom of the car is the last place you want to have weight because it inhibits transfer. So you're taking 40 pounds and moving the car's center of gravity that much higher by removing that weight from underneath, which gives a greater value to, let's say, the weight of the roof, which is going to promote the car transferring weight. That 1776, so 73 Charger with a 225 slant. Should I keep the slant? I would. I would. Tony, what was the lifter problem with Bottle Rocket? When we had a flat top that came in there, we actually wiped out a couple of rockers, or lifters rather. It killed the cam. I switched over to a hydraulic roller, and now the issue is that the hydraulic rollers are collapsing. And there's several people who are having the exact same problem with the exact same lifters. They're not maintaining themselves. Brian Powell, when running a twin engine setup, what is more suitable for balance in line or side by side? According to Gene Adams, who played around with a twin engine top fuel car, two injected 354 Chryslers. They experimented with every configuration that they could with that. Timing the motors 1-to-1, timing the motors all different. And according to him, it doesn't make any difference at all. None of it. The phasing of them doesn't make any difference. T. Jack, why don't people use solid lifters? I went with the hydraulics in that because of the nature of the budget build nature of and I was trying to avoid going with custom rockers or aftermarket rockers. I wanted to use the stock rockers. So that's the only reason I went with hydraulic on that. Normally, I would have gone solid. Mike and Will Connolly. Last night, Holden suggested that one reason not to do a build-off was that different dynos give different results. Do you find that to be true? Yeah, absolutely. And he absolutely has a point to that. Yes. Mark Neese, is ComCam still mad at you? I don't know. Every dyno is different. Every dyno operator is different. Odysseus Spy, I can't be, geez, I can't even pronounce your name. Tony, can you buy the crank gear on its own? Just give the parts store the number on the crank gear. No, I have found that you don't ever want to mix and match timing sets. And I'll tell you the truth, you got to check them too to make sure that the the gear or the chain fits all the way down in the teeth, because I have had that problem where you've got like two identical looking sets, but the pitch is cut just a little bit differently and the chain doesn't fit all the way in. And then what happens is you run the motor a little bit and it stretches the link and you get a crazy amount of slop in there. So I don't mix and match timing sets. I always use a timing set as a unique package by itself, and I always check to make sure that the chain actually sits down into the gears the way it's supposed to. Antonia, you should make Bottle Rocket the flagship. Oh, sorry. Of the channel, and put some consistency in getting some time slips at your local track. Lots of people are really wanting to see it succeed. It will succeed, but you have to understand something about. There's two things you have to understand about this. The first is that that's not the essence of the channel. That is just one project car. It's one aspect of what we do. And I try not to get too wrapped up in it. And that's one of the problems now. You start working on a car and it's like all of a sudden it takes over your life, and then it takes over the content. We try to keep the content as varied as possible. The other problem is time to get away. I do not have a home team. I've got 4 dogs. We've got the whole world over here, and it's very hard for us to get away for any significant amount of time. It's like right now we're going we're going to run on Saturday in Sykes in Missouri. I don't have a dog sitter. I've either got to take the dogs with me and watch them there, or I've got to run up there, do what I got to do, get the car back on the trailer, and get back here as fast as possible. Because I don't have a sitter. So it's like these are serious limitations that we have, and that's why these cars don't get run the way they should. And that's why when I started the project, remember Bottle Rocket, the original concept behind Bottle Rocket was that I was going to have somebody else run the car, meaning that they're going to take it into their possession, they're going to put it on their trailer, they're going to go to the track, they're going to run the car. I never had any intention of having to run this thing by myself, because I have no facilities. I don't have the ability to get away the way a lot of YouTubers do. So with that said, I ended up with this project that I never would have started if I was going to do it by myself. And that's why there are these huge gaps in the times that, times that we run the car. It's a problem, we're working towards fixing those problems, towards getting more hands involved and more things going here. But the first part of that is that the channel is not about drag racing. It's not about that one car or that one project. So if I do Bottle Rocket stuff, I'll get Bottle Rocket viewers, but then I'll get people who drift off because they're wanting more daily driver type of stuff. And if I only do daily driver type of stuff, I'll lose the guys that are looking for the hot rod tech stuff. And if I only do hot rod tech stuff, I'll lose the guys that are looking for the off the wall things that we do. So it's like it has to be a balance, and that car or no one car can take over the channel. You thought Mike Smith, you thought Sykes was on Sunday the 5th. Is it a Sunday? I don't even know if it's a Saturday or Sunday. I just know it's this coming weekend. Brian Power, the problem with viewers that drift is then they miss the outside tech that pertains to the stuff they like in unrelated videos. I'm not sure what that means. Mr. Classic Car USA, for your information, in the UK there is only one actual certified Santa Pod, right? SR Mopar, what clutch disc material, ceramic, organic, sintered, bronze, etc., do you use with Bottle Rocket and why? Is it a 3-finger pressure plate? Yes, it's 3 fingers. It is. I don't use diaphragm clutches on anything. It's a stock organic street type clutch, meaning it's got a sprung hub and it's got a Marcel. The Marcel is that wafer that's between the friction surfaces, and they do that to soften the blow through the drivetrain, because it's not a big wrinkle wall tire where the wrinkle wall actually absorbs a lot of the shock through the drivetrain. It's drag radial, and so any shock through the drivetrain has to be softened someplace, and that's why I use a stock disc on that. Mike and Willow kindly, I know I'd love to see you exploring more dirty secrets of cars for sale. Man, that's valuable knowledge right there. Okay, well, you see, Mike or Willow, I don't know which one is typing that, but that's exactly my point. The most popular videos that we do, the ones that get the most views, are those, where it's like, the junk masquerading as a good car, right? Always, we do one of those videos, the scam videos, rip off, flipper, and all 10 yards. It gets huge views. I don't do them as often as I could, or from a business standpoint, as often as I should, because I'm trying not to just get hung up in the negative. That whole thing is, if it bleeds, it leads, right? So I try not to get hung up in the negative aspects of things. That's why I don't do them as often as I do. But that's my point is, somebody asked about Bottle Rocket. Why don't I make that the flagship and focus on that? Well, because most of my viewers, most of the subscribers hit on those videos that are completely separate from drag racing. They could care less about drag racing. They just like cars in general, classic cars, vintage cars, muscle cars, whatever it is. And they want to learn more about that, and they want to not get ripped off when they go to buy one, and they want to be able to assess things on their own. They want to help their friends. They want to be the guy who knows all the facts, like the cars and coffee. That's the core viewership. And if I focus only on like a specific car or a specific theme, I lose those viewers. Billy Bob Holcomb, how much would it cost to put a dyno in your shop? I looked at the Mustang portable dyno, and it's like $45,000. It's not out of the question. It's not out of the question. That's a chassis dyno, by the way. An engine dyno is a whole different universe, right? I don't want to get involved in any of that. But there's a portable Mustang the Mustang makes them. The company that makes them. They have a chassis dyno, and you can mount it on a trailer. You can take the shows and events and stuff like that, and it's 45 grand. And that's not out of the question. I have space in there. In fact, I know exactly if I do get one, I know exactly where I want to put it. But I'm not sure right now if that's the direction I really want to go with the channel. Strobo 78, Tony, don't spend 45 grand just to impress us. I'm not trying to impress anybody. It's content. You know what I mean? If I buy it, it adds to a lot of content, and it saves me the trouble of having to get to a drag strip, which is a serious problem. It's one of the main obstacles we have right now. Back in the 80s and the 90s, when I was always at a drag strip. I lived at drag strips. That's all I did. I had a home team. There was Kathy was at home with the kids and the dogs and everything else, and I was able to actually go out and do this stuff. But now it's a completely different story. So it's hard, but we're working towards finding solutions to these problems. Ethan Manley, UT, there's plenty of other channels doing dyno testing. I don't think you really need to get into that. Well, yes and no. I know there's other channels doing dyno testing. Sloppy Mechanics is one of them, and we're doing a show with him on Friday, this coming Friday. Matt Happel from Sloppy Mechanics. I know there's a lot of people doing dyno testing, but they're not doing the dyno testing that I would want to do. They're not doing the tests that I would want to. And so yeah, there's lots of channels doing it, but everybody has their own spin, and I don't see anybody out there testing quite exactly the way I would want to test. So that's why I would make that investment. Billy Bob Holcomb, do you have a lift that will also tell you the weights of each? Yeah, we have a set of corner weights. We have a scale with corner weights. Mexican spec. Hey, Tony. 2 hours after the live on electric cars, a windstorm hit me and knocked out my power, proving my point. If you depend on the electric grid for your car to move, they can control your movement. I know that. I know that. I'm not lost on that. David Vizard Performance. Tony, want to build a super accurate dyno for about $4,000 you can use in a car park. No cell needed. Let's talk about it. Give me a call tomorrow. Douglas Filer, Tony, would you build a Speed Week vehicle for top mile per hour? I would love to do that type of thing. My problem is I'm in Tennessee, and where those events are run regularly is 2,000 miles away. You know what I mean? So it's just not in the cards. It ain't gonna happen. I have a hard time going 60 miles away, much less 2,000 miles away. There have been, like the East Coast Timing Association has had events here and there, but they're sporadic. It doesn't happen very often. Lately, they've been running in Arkansas. Trying to think of the town in Arkansas where they run a standing mile. But it doesn't happen enough for me to devote that kind of resource to. Junior K, would you degree a cam for a mild streetcar, and if so, why? That's a tough question. I don't know. I think what I would have to do, what I would probably, for mild streetcar, meaning it's like your daily driver type of thing, you're just looking to oomph it up a little bit. I think at that point I would probably just check the cam and make sure that it's. I would check the cam timing in relation to what it's supposed to be, right? So meaning that if the cam is supposed to be, let's say, ground 4 degrees advanced, I would drop the thing in dot to dot, make sure that there's 4 degrees advance actually in the cam, and I would call it a day. For a driver streetcar, because you're not looking for the last bit of performance out of it. You're just looking for it to operate what you're looking. You know, it's like a ballpark thing. I don't really feel that it's important to get into real science level tuning, until you're at that level where it's a dedicated performance machine. At that point, then it pays. But for a streetcar, there are so many different variables that a streetcar goes through, like the time that it's running, temperature and air and blah blah blah. And if you're not gonna get out and change the jets out every time that you're not driving around a weather station. If you're not going to tune it to that degree, then getting nitpicky with the cam probably isn't. And other people may have a different opinion, but that's my opinion. You'll probably be close enough if you pick the right cam. Uh, Anthony Cox, 3.7 Dodge, worth rebuilding? Probably not. UTG, when you are asked what horsepower particular engine configuration should make, is your estimate at the crank or at the wheels? Always at the crank, because the wheels have too many variables. Is it a manual trans? Is it an automatic trans? What is the actual, because different automatics have a different value, and the converter is going to have a different value to the back wheels. So when I spitball a power estimate for an engine, it's always spitballed at the crankshaft. Ethan Manley, UT, when are you going to dive into the Jeep 4.0? Sooner than you think. Squirt McGurk, thank you. It's been a while since we've seen any body work on the channel. I'm about to paint my Monte Carlo SS. How should I strip it bare at home? You are going to see body work in the fall. It's been way too hot, the last 2 months here have just been like a sauna. So I haven't even thought about anything body work related. In the fall, the end of September, October into November, yeah, there's going to be a lot of body work going on here. Andy Nicole, UT, in support of your earlier comments, I like varied content. I like drag builds, but I also like to see stuff like brake jobs on a daily. Yeah, I know, and that's the whole thing with this channel. I don't want it to get pigeonholed into one specific type of thing. That's one of the reasons why we have as many subs as we do, because we have more subs than we should have. But the reason for it is because we do such a varied thing that somebody will sub because we did one of those rip-off videos, and somebody else would sub because we did a how-to video, and somebody else will sub because we did a drag racing video. So it's like, that's one of the reasons why we have the numbers that we do, is because we're as varied as we are. Jade Russell Fitch, Tony, give me an idea of how much horsepower you could have gotten if Dulcich had accepted your challenge. First off, it's a dead issue at this point, because even if they would accept the challenge right now, I'm done with them. I'm done with this whole situation. I don't want to deal with it. How much would I have made? More than him. Done, right? I would have made more than him. Dan Squatch, thank you. I just pulled the heavy spring out of the distributor in a Mustang today. Man, what a difference in a dig. Way snappier, probably wouldn't show up on the dyno though. Exactly. That's the exact truth. And even David Vizard was on here. We did a live on Unity Motorsports Garage channel last night. Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage, he's actually in here right now. And he was saying there's two different types of dynos. There's a type of dyno that Westech uses, which measures the engine at a steady state. So in other words, the dyno allows the engine RPM to come up. And then there's a different type of dyno that David uses, where the dyno or the engine is actually dictating the RPM range of the dyno. So if you're testing, basically Westech, tests that are done at Westech are done at a steady state. So the engine is allowed to rise, let's say, 200 RPM every 3 seconds, whatever it happens to be. It's a series of steady state snapshots. Okay, think of it that way, right? A Westech type of dyno is taking a shot of it at this RPM, then a shot at this RPM, and a shot at this RPM, and a shot at this RPM, and puts it together and makes a graph. Okay, but the type of a different type of dyno will actually let the engine push the RPM range itself, and you'll get a completely different reading. The RPM may be the same, or the horsepower at RPM may be the same. Like, okay, I give you a perfect example. Okay, so I saw where a flywheel was tested. They tested flywheel weight. Okay, so they tested a flywheel weight. They put like a 12-pound flywheel on, and they put like a 40-pound flywheel on. Okay, and it didn't make any difference in the horsepower range. Okay, so now obviously, if you're not testing the acceleration rate of the engine, but only its steady state RPM, you're not going to see a difference. But if you're measuring the way that engine is going to accelerate through the range, then the weight of the flywheel becomes significant. And that's one of the problems with the way these things are presented. I've got David Vizard on here right now. David, am I misrepresenting this at all? Newcomer Racing for Jeep engines. Yeah, I watched a couple of their videos. What Newcomer Racing is doing with those is freaking amazing. Unity Motorsports Garage says I'm right. Squirt Murder, the 4.0 engine, those 90 Jeeps would have made such a great engine for a rear-wheel drive car. Well, I mean, but it was the 4.0 engine really is just it's the 1965 AMC Typhoon 6 with just refinements over the years. It was a rear-wheel drive engine for many years in countless cars. David, yeah, David, don't worry about it. It's we talked about it last night. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Dented Robot. Hey, UTG, I've got an '06 Jeep Commander 4.7 V8. Thoughts? She's got about 220,000 kilometers on it and never had any major issues. You know, it's funny you bring that up because I was just at Pull Apart yesterday, and there were 3 Jeep Commanders in there. '06, all 3 of them are '06 Jeep Commanders. And every single one of them has perfect body, perfect paint, perfect interior. And they're all sitting there in Pull Apart. I don't know what went wrong with them. I have no idea what killed those Jeeps, why they're in there like that. But it's got to be something drastic, and it has to be something inherent to that particular car. So that's my thoughts on it. I don't know. I absolutely do not know what that fatal thing is to take basically a pristine, vehicle. I have no idea what the mechanism is to take a pristine vehicle and have it end up in a scrapyard, and 3 of them the same year, the same condition. I don't know what it is. All I can tell you is that there's something drastically wrong with it. So I hope you have continued good luck with the one you have. Did you get the 360 you spotted? Yes. The kid Austin went today to the junkyard. Like I said, he earned his man card today. He went to the junkyard, he pulled the thing out himself, and he delivered it over here. It's sitting in the shop right now. Jason Fish, the fuel tank problem can cost several grand on those Jeeps. Educate me on this. What fuel tank problem, Jason? Sean Fagan, a lot of those Jeeps die from water in the trans because everyone who gets one thinks they are mud hoppers. That thing has never, none of those Jeeps had ever been off road. I'll tell you that right now. They even had brand new tires. One of them had brand new tires on it. Zolly Speed Shop, does the 5.2 bolt up to a 4.7 trans? You know, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the 4.7 has the same bolt pattern, transmission bolt pattern as all of the other. That transmission bolt pattern goes back to 1953, or was 1954? Goes back to 1954 on the Chrysler Firepower Hemi. Was the first engine to have that, became a small block bolt pattern. So as far as like the transmission bolting up to the back, right? You've got the early Hemi is the same as the Polyhead. The Polyhead is the same as the LA. The LA is the same as the Magnum. The 5.7 is the same as an LA, or the same as a Magnum. So basically, it's that universal small block Mopar bolt pattern, goes from 1954 all the way to today. So, but the 4.7, I'm not sure if it fits into that family or not. The Kickendall says, and if the Kickendall says, the Kickendall knows. Same ball pattern, but the trans was a straight computer controlled off the 4.7 DCU, not a standalone. Okay. David Vizard, Tony, got to hit the sack. I've been at work since 7:30 this morning. You're doing a great job. You should take it up as a career. Let me think about that. I got to think about that. David, we got to get together on the phone over the next couple of days or so. There's several things I want to run past you, as far as our channels and everything else. So just let me get, a little settled, a little chaos I got going on over here, and we'll get together on the phone, brother, man. Thank you so much for showing up. David, you'll bug me till I answer. You've already got my number, right? David, just throw me a text, right? Listen, the ringer on my phone is always off, and I always keep it upside down because I don't want to be disturbed by it. But just throw me a text, and I'll get back to you for sure. Thank you, brother. Dan's Garage, thank you again. Yep, I was here last night. See, I don't understand why they didn't just go to the extreme with the offset to do that test. Disappointing. They were trying to prove a point. Okay, they were trying to prove a point. It's that simple. The Kickendall, seriously, Tony, grab one of those Commanders and Magnum, trans swap that bad boy, make a 360 sleeper mobile. I was actually thinking about like a small block with or even a slant six with a 4-speed. I just to have a cool driver. Soccer Dad, hey UT, if you were in the market for a daily driver, which car would you buy? The last thing I bought that turned into a daily driver is I have a 98 XJ. And that wasn't supposed to be a daily driver, but it has turned into a daily driver. I'm probably going to switch, but once the weather breaks, I'm probably going to switch back to my 67 GT was my daily driver for the longest time. I'll probably switch back to that. But if I didn't have anything, if I was looking for a daily driver right now, that's what I would go for, man. I'd find myself an XJ. The Kickendall was slightly pushing it with nothing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it would definitely be pushing. It was just random thoughts as I was looking. I was in a junkyard looking at those bodies, and people are always like, "Oh, slant six this, slant six that, slant swap the world." And I was like, "Well, okay, yeah, maybe we could slant swap the world with a Jeep Commander. That could be different, right?" But no, you're right. It would definitely be a bit much for that engine. Olive, what are you saying here? Also, seriously, young incels, we do expect a higher quality of trolling here at Uncle Tony's Garage. We have some of the finest trolls in the world on this channel. I guarantee he was chewing up certain types before most of you were born. Yeah, no, I pride myself on a high quality of trollism here. The best part is when you get trolled by television personalities. So, all right, guys, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. I got to pull the plug. I got a ton of work to do tomorrow morning. I got to get out of here. I'm going to call it a night. So, guys, our mods, John, Ari, Fubar Zero, thank you again as always. Everybody contributed with Super Chat. Thank you. You know, keeps the wheels turning. Appreciate it. Everybody contributed with good conversation and your company and all. Thank you all. And I'm gonna push the out button here and go out into the stormy night and go home. So I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you tomorrow.